For Daily Ask Reddit, people whose marriages lasted less than a year, months, weeks, days or even hours. When did you realize you'd made a mistake, and why? My sister's marriage lasted about 40 days. She found out he was a pedophile when my other sister came forward that he'd been ping her for the last 4 months. When he was arrested, police found a video of me getting dressed on his phone. I thank God every day that she came forward when she did, because he was grooming me to be his next victim. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison and has no contact orders with everyone in my immediate family. This event was the end of my childhood. When my former buddy called me to tell me he got herpes from my wife. I was in Afghanistan. Edit. I did not contract it. My buddy called to warn me. Edit second. That was years ago. I'm retired now and remarried happily to an amazing woman that somehow tolerates me. Edit third. I'm thankful he told me. Not me but a friend. Their marriage didn't last through the reception. Groom got absolutely shit-faced drunk and slaps the bride's child from a previous relationship and then hits the bride in the face. She filed for an annulment the next morning. Edit. Just wanted to update on the fallout a little, since this comment has a lot of traction. Groom was a truck driver, long and short haul, so he and the bride didn't spend a ton of time together over their relationship, so I guess she didn't know he was like that. The actual assault happened behind closed doors and was kept pretty hush-hush until the next morning to save face. I don't know enough about marriage law to comment on the legality of their marriage, but I was told she would be filing for an annulment, so that's what I wrote. This all happened about 10 years ago, and I'm no longer in contact with the bride, but last I heard she was doing better and had moved on. The groom had racked up several thousands of dollars in debt in the bride's name during the relationship that wasn't discovered until things started falling apart. I think he's in jail now. Not me but my ex-GF a few years ago. Before we met she was dating a guy for about 7 years or so. Due to family pressures, tradition, etc. she went and got married to the guy. They went home in separate cars because she said they both realized it was a mistake. Lived with her cousins for 6 months because she was scared to tell her parents. That's actually really sad. I'm picturing a Graduate-esque final scene in split screen of a Bollywood film set to the sound of silence, adapted for sitar, with the bride and groom side by side in separate cars not saying a word and just looking straight ahead as they drive home. 4 months and he dislocated my jaw. But really what I want to share is the signs were there and people should be aware of them. First it was just grabbing my arm kind of hard. Then grabbing my arm hard enough to bruise it. Then pushing. Then slapping. It took years so escalate. I heard it gets worse. I didn't think too much of it. I thought him not a wimp and it iced. Like he's beating the shit out of me every day. I thought that's what domestic abuse looked like. Then I married him. Well, let me tell you. If they're grabbing, pushing, or hitting you, they will eventually hurt you worse. Not my story, but a fraternity brother of my husband had a marriage that lasted maybe 100 days before they split. Apparently she didn't internalize that marrying a military person would mean moving around, and he just assumed she knew and was good with it. TLDR, communicate. It is downright bizarre how many couples don't talk about important stuff. I know a wedding that was called off last minute because they discovered one partner wanted kids and one didn't. How it never came up till a couple months before the wedding is what boggles my mind. Actually know another couple married for a very short time, months at most, because they discovered after the wedding that one partner wanted kids and one didn't. I had some friends that got married and divorced within a year. It turns out she had major doubts, but went through with it anyway, then cried for the whole honeymoon, and told him she had made a huge mistake. They posted all these normal pictures of them looking happy in Hawaii, but it came out later what a miserable nightmare the trip was. Happened to my friend's husband, suggests an open marriage, girl for some reason agrees. Fast forward 3 months into being married, He gets jealous cause they find a hot guy and the girl likes the guy better than her husband. They lasted 6 months. Reminds me of an old data of a guy who was jealous because he'd made his GF/wife have an open relationship and now she was getting way more and better guys than he ever did women. Hilarious karma.